Welcome to our channel. The Bible asserts that Adam and Eve are the progenitors of all humanity and that they had 3 sons: Cain, Abel, and Seth. But how did other human beings emerge from these 5 central figures? It's worth noting that in Genesis 4:17, the scriptures mention that Cain knew his wife, who conceived and bore Enoch. Cain was building a city and called it Enoch in honor of his son. This raises a startling question: who exactly was this mysterious woman that Cain married? Could she have been one of the daughters of Adam and Eve, hidden in the shadows of biblical history? And if so, why has her story, along with the stories of other daughters, been obscured from our view for so long? Today we're about to embark on a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about the earliest days of humanity. We're going to uncover everything about Adam and Eve's daughters, who they were, why their names are conspicuously absent from the Bible, and how they contributed to the propagation of the human race. This is more than just an exploration of forgotten figures. It's an unraveling of a profound mystery that has shaped the very fabric of human history. Before we dive in, I encourage you to like this video and subscribe to Bible Legends for more thought-provoking insights that challenge and expand your understanding of Scripture. The biblical narrative often shines the spotlight on the well-known story of Cain and Abel, 2 brothers whose tragic conflict has echoed through millennia. But while this story has been told and retold, there exists a darker, more elusive tale just beneath the surface, a tale that has been largely forgotten, erased by the sands of time. This tale involves the other children of Adam and Eve, particularly their daughters, who, despite playing a crucial role in humanity's early history, have been all but erased from the narrative. Have you ever wondered why? Why would the Bible, so meticulous in recounting the lineage of mankind, choose to omit the names and stories of these women? Could there be something more at play here, something that those in power sought to keep hidden? By shedding light on these overlooked descendants, we not only recover a lost chapter of human history, but we also open the door to understanding the full complexity of humanity's origins. These nameless daughters were not mere footnotes in the grand biblical epic. They were essential players, each contributing in their own way to the propagation of the human race. Their absence from the narrative leaves us with an unsettling gap, a gap that begs to be filled with truth, no matter how uncomfortable or challenging that truth may be. It's intriguing, even disturbing, to consider how Jewish and Christian traditions have often overlooked certain figures in favor of more dramatic, male-dominated narratives. The glaring omission of Adam and Eve's daughters from the biblical record raises some troubling questions. Were these women deliberately erased from history to serve a particular agenda? Were their stories too controversial, too disruptive to the patriarchal structure that has dominated religious interpretation for centuries? This erasure doesn't just raise questions, it demands answers. What stories have we lost? What truths have been buried? And what are the consequences of these omissions for our understanding of humanity's earliest days? While the Bible may not provide details about these daughters, secondary sources like the Book of Jubilees do. This apocryphal text, though not included in the official Jewish or Christian canon, offers a tantalizing glimpse into the lives of Adam and Eve's other children, lives that have been shrouded in mystery for far too long. But why was the Book of Jubilees excluded from the canon? Could it be that the stories within were deemed too controversial, too revealing for the religious authorities of the time? The very existence of this book suggests that there is more to the story, more that has been kept from us, more that we are only now beginning to uncover. In the pages of the Book of Jubilees, 2 names emerge from the darkness: Kalima and Azura, identified as the wives of Cain and Seth, respectively. These women, though absent from the biblical text, are critical to understanding the full picture of humanity's early days. In Genesis 4:16-17, we read about Cain's departure to the land of Nod, where he knew his wife, who bore him Enoch. But who was this wife? Could Kalima, also known as Yvonne in some traditions, be this mysterious woman? And what does her story tell us about the world in which she lived, a world filled with exile, violence, and the founding of the first city, a city named Enoch, in honor of her son. Kalima's name, though absent from the Bible, is steeped in meaning. In apocryphal texts, her name carries connotations of both vice and power, an intriguing duality that may reflect the complex and dangerous life she led alongside Cain. This isn't just a story of a wife supporting her husband. This is a story of survival, of influence, and perhaps of a legacy far darker than we've ever imagined. After all, Cain's story is one of exile and violence, marked by the murder of his brother and his subsequent curse. What role did Kalima play in these monumental events? Could her influence have shaped the very foundations of the first city built in the aftermath of the first murder? As we delve deeper into these apocryphal texts, we find that the history of humanity is far more complex and nuanced than we've been led to believe. The daughters of Adam and Eve, though hidden from the pages of the Bible, were no less significant than their brothers. By exploring these forgotten figures, we can begin to understand the full scope of humanity's origins that are steeped in mystery, controversy, and intrigue. Kalima and Azura, though shrouded in mystery, are essential links in the chain of human history, a history that has been shaped not just by the actions of men, but by the often overlooked contributions of women. As we uncover these hidden stories, we are challenged to rethink what we know about the Bible, to question the narratives that have been handed down to us, and to seek out the truth, no matter how unsettling it may be. Are we ready to confront these hidden truths? Are we prepared to rewrite the history we thought we knew? Join us as we continue to unravel the mysteries of the Scriptures, one revelation at a time. While it is true that the texts of the Holy Bible do not identify Cain's wife or reveal her origin, if we trace Genesis up to the point of Cain's banishment and his encounter with the mentioned woman, only a few characters are cited, including Adam, Eve, and their sons Abel and Seth. However, it is important to consider that when Cain united with Avon, the earth was already quite populated. By this point in the story, there were certainly more than just 5 individuals, including other women besides Eve. Some suggestions indicate that Cain's wife could have been his niece, the daughter of Seth. This idea is based on the long period between Cain's exile in the land of Nod and his encounter with Avon. Some theologians admit that this interval lasted about 300 years. During this period, it is estimated that the number of Adam's sons and daughters exceeded 50, while Seth's children numbered over 20. We can conclude that in the time of Cain, Seth, and the other children of Adam and Eve, it was common for them to marry each other, including siblings or nieces, as humanity was starting from a single couple. When Cain decided to marry, there were several sisters and nieces available, which made it easier to find a consanguineous wife. This practice of marrying close relatives persisted for a long time. The Bible makes it clear that the entire human race descended from Adam and Eve, and any contrary theory lacks biblical foundation, as expressed in Acts 17:26. From one man he made all the nations that they should inhabit the whole earth, and he marked out their appointed times in history and the boundaries of their lands. This perspective clarifies the dynamics of relationships at the time and the formation of humanity from a single original couple. The practice of marrying a sister or niece was socially acceptable in this initial context of humanity. It is crucial to understand that the laws prohibiting marriage between close relatives, as established in the Mosaic Law, were instituted long after the events involving Adam and Eve, approximately 2,500 years later. These laws were part of the covenant with Moses, setting ethical and moral standards for the Israelite community. Only with the significant increase in population was the prohibition of sexual relations between close relatives implemented to prevent negative consequences, such as the risk of genetic defects and health problems resulting from consanguineous mating. The other daughter of Adam and Eve, detailed in the Book of Jubilees and known as Azura, is recognized as the wife of Seth, the couple's third son. Her symbolic association with the blue sky, or lapis lazuli, suggests a celestial purity, and her name reflects the uniqueness she represents in the narrative. as Seth's wife, Azura, directly influences the continuity of the righteous lineage, contributing to the preservation of the virtues and values desired in biblical genealogy. It is important to remember that Seth was born after Abel's death, and Eve believed he was appointed by God to establish a new offspring, replacing Abel, killed by Cain. According to these traditions, Azura was initially Abel's wife and became a widow after his death. Later she married Seth, and from this union came notable descendants. Seth is a key figure in biblical genealogy, playing a significant role in the continuity of the righteous lineage after the tumultuous episode involving Cain. His union with Azura resulted in contributions that shaped key events in the Bible. Among Seth's sons, Enosh stands out, whose name means frail man. Enosh is recognized for being the first to develop the custom of invoking the name of the Lord, establishing a spiritual connection that would become a central practice in subsequent religious traditions. In addition to Enosh, Enoch, son of Jared, is one of the notable personalities of this lineage. Enoch is known for his exceptional closeness to God, to the extent that he walked with him according to biblical accounts. His life of righteousness and communion with the divine stands out as a unique contribution, representing an example of devotion that transcended his time. Due to these factors, Enoch was one of the only human beings who did not experience death being taken up to God. However, one of the most striking contributions of Seth's lineage is Noah, the righteous builder of the ark during the flood. Noah, son of Lamech and descendant of Seth, was chosen by God to preserve humanity and the diversity of creatures during the global cataclysm. His obedience and faith recorded in the flood narrative outline the importance of Seth's lineage in fulfilling divine plans for humanity's redemption. Each individual in this lineage played a crucial role in building the human legacy and preserving faith and justice amidst the challenges faced by their generations. Religious traditions, especially when exploring the lineages of Cain and Abel, in contrast to Seth and Azura, offer an intriguing duality in the human condition, expressed through moral and spiritual choices. Cain, as the firstborn of Adam and Eve, embodies a trajectory marked by choices that reflect human failure. In contrast, the lineage of Seth and Azura offers a narrative of moral and spiritual choices more aligned with divine will. These two lineages, despite their striking differences, have their importance and reflect the inherent duality of the human condition, with moral and spiritual choices shaping the destiny of subsequent generations. It is important to emphasize that the Book of Jubilees is considered apocryphal, meaning it is not officially recognized by the major religious traditions, both Jewish and Christian. All this information regarding the daughters of Adam and Eve may vary according to different interpretations and religious beliefs. One curious interpretation, for example, occurs in Islam. According to Islamic tradition, both Cain and Abel had a twin sister each, who became their respective wives as they grew up. According to the Book of Generations, their names were Balbara and Kalmana. These sisters would play a role in the discontent that generated the conflict between the brothers, as Cain was dissatisfied with his partner. These conflicts evolved and culminated in Cain killing Abel, but that's a topic for another video. Now I want to hear from you. Did you know that Adam and Eve had daughters? Do you think the information contained in the Book of Jubilees is true? Leave your opinions in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave your likes and click on one of the videos that will appear on the screen to keep watching us. May God bless and see you.